I sat at that little Italian restaurant downtown, the kind where the candles flicker like they're whispering secrets. The waiter had already asked, twice, if I was ready to order. I wasn't. I kept checking my phone. 7:10 p.m. 7:20. 7:35, the text I'd sent an hour ago just said, "Can't wait to see you." No reply. By 7:45, I finally accepted it. I'd been stood up. I wasn't angry, not really. Just embarrassed. You know that heavy feeling when everyone around you seems to know your story without you saying a word? Couples were laughing over wine glasses, someone was celebrating a birthday, and there I was, alone, staring at the candle melting faster than my pride. I was about to ask for the check when the woman at the table next to me turned her head. She was around my age, maybe late 20s, with an oversized sweater and a book open in front of her. She had the kind of calm smile people wear when they're completely comfortable being alone. "Bad date?" she asked softly. I chuckled. "Worse. No date." She tilted her head, pretending to think. "Well," she said, closing her book, "guess I'm your date now." I blinked. "What?" She laughed, this genuine, light-hearted sound that filled the space between us. "You look like you could use some company. I promise I'm not a serial killer." Something about her confidence made it hard to say no. I smiled and waved to the waiter. "2 menus, please." And just like that, a night that was supposed to end in quiet disappointment became something else entirely. Her name was Lena. She was a teacher, loved poetry, hated pineapple on pizza, and had this infectious way of making ordinary things sound extraordinary. We talked about everything: failed relationships, favorite childhood movies, how both of us still didn't really know what being grown up meant. I realized, halfway through my pasta, that I was laughing more than I had in months. When the waiter brought the bill, I reached for it. She stopped me. "Split it," she said. Equal investment in an unplanned adventure. We walked outside, and the city felt softer somehow. The air had that faint smell of rain and espresso. I thanked her for saving my night. "Who says it's saved?" she said, grinning. "Maybe it's just getting started." We ended up walking for hours, past closed shops and quiet parks. It wasn't romantic in the typical sense. It was real. 2 strangers sharing a sliver of life neither expected. At one point, she stopped by a street musician playing guitar and said, "You know, people always think love stories start with fireworks. But sometimes, they start with being stood up." That line stuck with me. When we finally said goodnight, she didn't give me her number. Just smiled and said, "If we're meant to run into each other again, we will." Then she walked away, her sweater swaying in the night breeze. For weeks, I couldn't stop thinking about her. Life went on, work, errands, the same coffee shop mornings, but every now and then, I'd catch someone's laugh or smell a hint of candle wax and think of that night. Then, one Saturday afternoon, I went to a small bookstore downtown. I was browsing the poetry section when I heard that same laugh behind me. "Guess the universe liked our first date," Lena said, holding up the same book she'd been reading that night. I laughed, shaking my head. "Looks like it did." We spent the day together again, coffee, stories, shared silence. And this time, when we said goodbye, she wrote her number on a page she tore out of her book. That page still sits in my wallet today. Sometimes, the best things don't arrive when you plan them. They show up beside you, when life doesn't go as expected, and say, "Guess I'm your date now." Life's most beautiful connections often begin in moments of disappointment. Sometimes being stood up isn't rejection, it's redirection towards something better, something real.